Welcome back, fans. It's GS All Access at gseagles.com, where you get the inside scoop on Georgia Southern Athletics. And today we're joined with Brent Davis, offensive coordinator for the Georgia Southern Eagles. And, Coach, here it is. It is week number one. It is game number one. I know this has been a lot of work going back to last year in preparation, but I know this is kind of what you guys work for. This is what you look forward to.
No question. I know our kids are excited. We're excited as coach. They really worked hard. You know, we've had a long off season, and they really had a good summer. They showed up in shape and ready to go, and just had a good preparation leading up to the game.
Let's talk a little bit about the personnel. Obviously, there's some key elements that you won't have at your disposal, and that's the nature of the game. But you do have some very good returners coming back, especially at the skill positions. I don't like to use the D word, depth, early on in the season, but I know you have to be pleased with some of the guys you got coming back in those skill sets.
Well, there's no question. We've got some guys with some experience that have played a lot of football for us, and at the quarterback position is one place, and then also at the fullback position, we've got some guys that have logged a lot of carries, so we're excited about that. Got a bunch of receivers that have played time for us and done a nice job, and then up front, I think we've got probably more depth than we've had. I can remember in 2010 when we were just playing 5 guys a game, and we're hoping to play 10 guys now.
Giving away no secrets, obviously Jerick Mckinnon about a quarter of the way through last season really took the offense by the reins and became the starting quarterback. He's coming in this year. That experience, having that behind him and kind of knowing he's the starter, that allow you to maybe open up, do some other things offensively now that you've got at least that position solid? Well,
we're comfortable with what he can do at quarterback, there's no question. He can do a lot of things for us. He's played other positions. He played a running back for us. So there's some situations where we may want to put him in as a running back also. But having that experience that he has and knowing the things he can do has allowed us to try to develop the younger guys behind him, and knowing that he's a solid guy there. But they're all different. All the quarterbacks that we have are different. They all do different things well. So it's just finding and adapting our system to what each guy does.
Obviously, 11 players on the field. They're all important in their role, but all the eyes are on the B-back position in this offense. You got a returner who's been incredible, Dominique Swope, over 1,000 yards his first 2 seasons. I know the expectations are high for him as well. B-back position, how deep are you there, and how's the workout been so far headed into the start of the season?
We're real excited to get Dominique back, and he's coming off shoulder surgery, and so we kind of eased him back in during the preseason, but he looks really good and really had a good scrimmage last week, so we're excited about that. Behind him, William Banks has played a lot of football for us and started some games last year and had 130 yards or so against App State last year, so he's put in some quality work, and he's a tough runner and knows the offense. And then we've got some young guys behind him, James Dean, who's also kind of moved back and forth from offense to defense, that played some for us last year, played a lot in the Western Carolina game. And then Chris Jordan is another young guy who's also playing a position in Cam Lewis. So we've got 4 or 5 guys there that we've got a chance to go to. They've got varying levels of experience, but they've all got ability.
Let's talk about the utility backs, the A-back position, as it were. And the T-back position, we move Ute, of course, who's just a great athlete. I mean, if you can find a way to get the ball in his hands, you're going to be in good shape. It seems his transition over there has been very good for him mentally, which is always a big part of that. But also Jonathan Bryant coming back, and there's another guy who's played a heck of a lot of football for you.
He has. Real excited about that group, and Izzy really was coming along until he had an injury, and so we're hopeful to get him back soon. But Trey Butler's done a nice job as a slot. Really had a great camp, and Jonathan Bryant's made plays for us for 2 years now, and in different parts of the facets of the game. He's got great hands, and he's really assumed a leadership role this fall, which has been great, something great to see for our offense and for that position. And then you got solid guys like Devin Scott behind him, who, Devin's never going to miss an assignment. He's going to give you everything he's got. He's not the biggest guy, but he's a productive player for us. And Brandon Thomas as well is another one of those guys.
Yeah, Devin Scott is fun to watch. He's like a water bug boy.
That's
He's
right.
out there running on the field. Real quickly, I know you've reminded me, and I've gotten to know this over the last 3 years, when we talk about the offense, you will quickly remind me that those guys may get the stats, but it all starts up front on the offensive line. I know you take very good detail in paying attention to that. How's that been? How do you feel about that going into game one?
Well, I think that we've got more depth, as I mentioned before, than we've had. Every group is different. Certainly they've got to come together as each individual year, but we only lost 1 guy from last year. We lost Blake DeBartolo, who was a valuable guy that played a lot of different positions, but the core of that offensive line is back, and we've got a lot of experience, and guys have worked hard. I think it's a tough-minded group, I think they kind of feed off one another. We've got some good leaders in that group and some guys with good experience and some good football players. You know, how good we can be is going to be dependent on you know, how hard they're willing to work and you know, just coming together during the year and staying healthy. But you know, on paper we feel good about it. We've got more depth than we've ever had.
Real quickly before I let you go, headed into the opener against Savannah State, I know that you're constantly looking for perfection. You're in search of it each and every week. What are some concerns you have following camp and into the preseason practice that just glare off the page to you that you still are concerned about that you got to fix going into this opener?
Well, ball security is the biggest thing, and you know, we want to lead the country in turnover margin, and that involves both sides of the ball, but certainly we want to do our part on offense, and so that's number one, first and foremost. If we can take care of the football, I think we'll have a good chance to win every game that we're in, and that's first and foremost, and that's knowing your assignment. That's also, it's not only just the guy carrying the ball, protecting it, but it's also the guys around him, making sure they're blocking the right people and doing the right things too, and so making sure we're not turning people loose that they don't know about. And so we got to continue to get better with that. Our assignments is another thing, and then just the effort that we play with. That's something we really monitor closely and that we're really big on, and so we're going to continue to push our guys to play with great effort, and so that's something going into the first game we really want to see.
Brent, it's always a pleasure to talk with you. I love this opportunity to get your thoughts, and we appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy, so appreciate you joining us.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
Brent Davis, offensive coordinator, been our guest. It's GS All Access, and it's only found at gseagles.com.